Market regulator SEBI recently floated a consultation paper to curb extreme price volatility in the market. The paper also proposes to cap the maximum daily movement of all stocks, including those in the F&O space, to up to 20%. My colleague Yash Jain caught up with the NSE's MD and CEO Vikram Limai to discuss this matter further.
I'm not sure it's necessarily a negative. I think we have to reflect on the reason why it's being done. And it's been put out for discussion at this point. So there is an opportunity for people to contribute. I think obviously SEBI also has an open mind to make sure whatever we put in place is for the good of markets and for the good of investors. So let's see what feedback we get from the marketplace and from market participants. And the objective of the exercise is really to try and control extreme volatility, extreme intraday volatility.
Correct.
Not to control volatility per se.
Correct.
So whether a stock drops from, drops by 80% in a day or drops 80% over 3 days, it's not that you're going to say that it can't drop or can't rise beyond a certain point. It's to try and make sure that there is an orderly movement in the market.
Perfect.
And that any kind of extreme disruptions are controlled in some way where the market gets a breather and people get an opportunity to reflect before once again taking a call on prices.
One very important move at NSE is concerned, the IPO, which is dependent on the resolution of the co-location issue. We haven't heard from you as far as what the recent development has been between market regulators, SEBI. How far has it reached? What is the point? Help the investors and the common people understand how far has it reached and how soon do we see it moving and coming to an endpoint as far as the resolution is concerned?
See, I'm not able to comment on the timing of resolution. It is very much underway and there are discussions ongoing with SEBI. So you'll have to wait and see when things get resolved.
Where are the discussions right now? Where has it
get
reached?
into the details because this is a matter between the regulators and NSE. So there is only so much I can say in public. Suffice to say that there are certainly conversations that are well underway, and the timing of the resolution is really something that I wouldn't want to comment on. The consent has been filed a while ago, so it would be part of the overall process in terms of when it gets taken up, whether it gets taken up. So those conversations are still, being discussed. So I can't comment any more on this matter.
Okay, all right. On that note, let's move on. In fact, from the sidelines of that event, my colleague Ritu Singh also caught up with Mr. Harsh Goenka, chairman of the RPG Group. He says the biggest headwinds in 2019 are elections. He also spoke about the way forward for the business.
I think the biggest headwind is, of course, what will happen in the elections.
Yeah.
There is no clarity as to where the wind will blow. If you'd asked me 6 months back, it was very clear that the Modi government would come in. But today with the Mahagathbandhan, one doesn't know, and I would give it a 60% chance of the Modi government coming back. But there is the 40% chance of a united opposition coming in. Market, I think, has already factored this kind of uncertainty, because even if BJP comes, they probably won't get such a strong mandate. And my view is it would be some kind of a coalition. It may be a smaller coalition, a more functional coalition, but I think the market has already factored that in. I think the demand cycle is pretty good. November, December has been a little silent, but otherwise things have improved. Capacity utilizations are reaching near optimum capacity. So I believe that a large amount of capex will come in the course of next 1 year. Of course, there is a certain amount of wait and watch as to what the elections will bring. But I personally believe that a lot of investments will happen in the course of next 2 years. I believe in the GDP figure of 7% plus. And I think the 7% is there to stay as far as the Indian future is concerned. But a good government can make us reach 9 to 10%, and that's what we are hoping will happen.
All right, let's move on now. The much-anticipated Comptroller and Auditor General report on the Rafale deal has been tabled in the Rajya Sabha on the last day of the budget session. The CAG report has said the Rafale deal concluded in 2016 was 2.8% cheaper than the 2007 UPA deal. Rituparna Bhoyan joins in with all the details of this report. Ritu, demystify it for us.
Well, there are several details that have emerged. Of course, one headline that has emerged is that the CAG notes that there is a saving of 2.86% compared to the UPA deal. However, the CAG report goes on to explain this difference and has said, and I quote, the difference between the allied price estimated by the negotiating team and the audit could be attributed to inconsistent price variation factors adopted by the negotiating team, alignment of the quantity scope of the two offers, and the difficulties of the alignment itself, as stated earlier. So saying that while there is a 2.86% saving, the reason for this saving could be the difference of a negotiating stand that was achieved. There may not be an actual 2.86% saving as far as the deal is concerned. Then as far as the timeline of the delivery is concerned, the audit has noted that as against a delivery period of 72 months in the earlier offer, that is the UPA offer, the contracted delivery schedule for the 36 Rafale aircraft was actually 71 months, which means that there was only an advantage of 1 month. And even that on this delivery schedule, the CAG is not sure how much of these delivery schedule that has been basically agreed upon, how much of that could be adhered to. Then more importantly, as far as this issue of bank guarantee is concerned, on which there have been several news reports, this CAG report has actually gone on to say that the law ministry had advised the government for a sovereign guarantee, which the French government refused. The issue was finally sent to the cabinet, and the cabinet decided that the French offer of having a letter of comfort, that would be enough. So this CAG report actually confirms that there was a within the government there was a feeling that bank guarantee should be involved as far as this deal is concerned, but at the very highest level in the cabinet, the decision and the call was taken to not invoke a bank guarantee, to not actually call for a bank guarantee in the deal, and instead agree to the French demand for a letter of comfort. And then the report goes on to further say that the government said that there is an element of saving because bank guarantee processing costs are not involved, and hence there is a saving. On that, the audit says that the saving, even if you agree that there is a saving, this saving would accrue to only Dassault Aviation and not the government itself. Last but not the least, I would also like to point out towards the issue of escrow accounts. On that, there was a decision that was taken within the government that the money would be transferred to accounts opened by the vendors and not through an escrow account, because the French government said that it is unwilling to open escrow accounts to take forward this deal. So while yes, the CAG report, while comparing the NDA and the UPA prices, have said that there is a 2.86% price advantage. It has then gone on to say that this price advantage, one has to look deeper into it. We'll have to go deeper into it. It is difficult to compare both the UPA and the NDA deals, because the aircraft's size and the contracts were different, but the overall savings may not be in actual terms. We'll have to go and we'll have to wait and see how the government now explains this this observation, which the CAG has made. Remember that government had claimed a 9% saving on the basic aircraft package, which CAG has said no, it's a 2.86% saving. With that, it's back to you.
All right, big day in Parliament today. Thank you for explaining that to us. That's our colleague Rituparna Bhuyan. Let's now also listen in to what Union Minister Arun Jaitley had to say on the CAG report.
Well, the CAG report has completely vindicated the stand of the NDA government. What does the CAG say? The NDA deal is cheaper. That's 2016 is cheaper than the 2007 transaction. The maintenance provisions are better. The delivery schedule is tighter. The transaction has been negotiated at a much faster pace. And they have not found anything fundamentally wrong with the transaction. I think what is particular about this transaction is there are some vested interests. Vested interests may have interest of either corporate rivals in mind or political opposition to the government in mind? Or perhaps both? Who have been trying to make this deal controversial? Well, the Congress stands for destruction of institutions. They destroyed every institution during the emergency. They attacked the Supreme Court. They've been attacking on EVMs the Election Commission. They haven't spared the CAG.
All right. It is time for the biggest event of the year. The News 18 Rising India Summit is to be held in New Delhi on the 25th and 26th of February. This is one platform where you can catch all the big newsmakers of the country, from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP President Amit Shah, to Opposition Chief Ministers Kamal Nath and Bhupesh Baghel. Along with a whole host of union ministers will be Bollywood and sports icons like Deepika Padukone and former coach of the Indian cricket team, Anil Kumble. Now, that is the News 18 Rising India Summit in New Delhi, which is going to be held once again, as a reminder, 25th and 26th of February.